Hello, everybody. I may have difficulty typing. I have a helper. Mwah. He's guarding the keyboard. Hi, baby girl. It's that time. Yeah, Billy O.T. here for the party. He likes smacking Ava around, so I'm a little nervous. He wants to be outside, and he can't go outside. We're gonna get a storm. It's lightning out, and he was chasing Tiny Kitten, and so I made them both come inside, and so neither one of them are very happy with me at the moment, and he's making it well known. Hello, C-Rex. Great to see you, love. Hello, Nana Laura. So happy you're here. Hello, Buzzy Pug. Oh, thank you. This one is sent by Saul Goodman. I did a very quick editing job on it. Oh, Ava, you didn't even make it to 3. What? What? Oh, she dropped it. So yeah, I went and I found the clip that Saul told me was good, and I just did a real quick edit on it, and I focused my time on trying to reclaim my home. Since this is now the studio, my bed's in the living room, and I'm just reorganizing things and putting things away that just got thrown in boxes and thrown in the middle of my living room. And it takes a minute. And my sink is so full of dishes that I can't even fill the water jug to fill my coffee pot machine. So, priorities though. I'll get it all little by little. Poco un poco, as my aunt used to say. Hello, K-John Boom. I'm so happy you're here with us. Hello, Sandy Herd, honey. Hello, Jerry Matthew Boyd. Welcome back. This is time 3 today. This is the 3rd time that I've come on to see all of you wonderful folks. Yes, I needed you today. I really did. I need you. Oh, hello, Manuel. Thank you for being here. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Mortimer Duke. Ooh, are you gonna win big for me? You can split the profits and keep the losses. Hello, Spider-Man. The man with the snacks. Hello, Eileen Carlin. Yes, yeah, that's my focus. They, however, don't really care. They want to be outside. That's it. They just want to be out there. Yeah, my neighbor has a concrete slab for their porch or deck outside their back door. And then they've got steps, and under, like, there's a big gaping hole under their slab. And when it starts raining, the kitties go and hide under there, or they'll hide under the grill. I've got a grill cover, and so they'll crawl underneath the grill cover and they'll sit there. And then when I open the door to take Ava out or something, I'll just feel like a gust of wind at my ankles. I'll be fighting. I'll be fighting with the walker and Ava, and I'll feel them zoom right past me. Thank you so much. That means everything to me. Ooh, we're starting the food talk right away. My mom was severely allergic to fennel, so that was something that I didn't really get a lot of when I was a kid. But that actually sounds delightful. I have survived on coffee today. That's all I've had. I haven't eaten anything. I've just drank coffee all day. I had one Mountain Dew, and I have a Mountain Dew here. So that'll be my caloric intake. It's still way less than I burned, I'm sure. Man, putting stuff away is a lot of work. Chores are work. I don't like it. Hi, Earl. Hi, baby boy. Hi, sweet love. Oh, he's so cute and he's so soft. He's got thick fur, like really super thick. Um, Billy's just a normal everyday cat. Tiny Kitten is the softest of all of them, but Earl, he's got the thickest fur, and so and it is soft, so he's more cuddly, but he doesn't like to cuddle at all. He doesn't like to be held. He's so standoffish. He wants to be pet, but he wants to pace as he's being pet. He will not sit still. And then Bandit, she's just my love. She has been hiding for several days now. Um, the tearing up of the room, I think, scared the bejesus out of her, and she is hiding in the basement. I think I know where, but that would require crawling down in the basement to get her. So, and then carrying her up is, the other part of that. So I may attempt that because I have to do laundry anyways. And of course, the washer and dryer are in the basement. Oh well. The joys of being single and disabled and having to figure out ways of doing everything yourself. um so Palmy and Adriana, Amanda, and Amy, and Tim, they sent me a gift box of 52 pods, and the majority of them are double caffeine. It's art, art artisanal, like what would you call it? Artisanal blends, like they're small batch brewed, and it's things like they've got the most amazing names. I posted a picture of them. There's one that's called Forget About It, and it's a company in New York, and it's a French roast. They also have one that's Pardon My French Roast. There's one with a penguin on it. Um, there's one with like a fireball smiley face, and there's one called Wild Sheep. They're all dark roast and double caffeine. And that's all I've been drinking since they sent it. It's amazing. Pretty much. It's not the boing I'd want, but it it works. I'll take it. No, 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 no. It's not that. It's not that. Hold on. Give me a second. Hi, San Diego. Oh, we're having a blast already. Give me 1 second here. Gotta have the elevator music while waiting for me to look this up here. Here we go. All right. Okay. So this is the box. This is the one with the fire. Oh, it's a bomb. So it says Da Bomb. And then there's Wild Sheep. Forget about it. This one says Dark and Handsome. That's the one with the penguin. There's Espresso. There's Pardon My French Roast. Pier 3. That's a good one. There's a Brooklyn one right here. Yeah, it's just 52 pods of love. Like, I couldn't think of a better gift than coffee. Oh my goodness. It's the best. It's the best. Yeah, I was so excited when I saw it. I was quite well chuffed. Yes. They treat me so well. I appreciate it so much. Coffee is life. Oh, I didn't. I'm spacing it out. I mean, this only holds. Okay, so this is, what is this anyways? Oh, I have terrible lighting. I think this is 36 ounces or 32 ounces maybe. But my Keurig doesn't know what 12 ounces is anymore. And it's not brewing 12 ounces because I'm brewing it into a 15-ounce cup, and the cup's only half full. So, and it's an old Keurig. It's really old. So, I have to forgive it. It's still working, and that's the most important part. But this takes like 4 pods of coffee to make. And it used to be 3. But anyways, I fill this up. I fill it twice a day, and then I maybe add like 1 or 2 top offs. Yeah. I know. I have a problem. Well, hi, Billy. Billy has joined again. He Yes, it's takeover. It's takeover by Billy. All right, guys. So Saul Goodman sent me this case. I have not watched all of it. I have skimmed it, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. Props to Saul Goodman. I really appreciate the suggestion. All right, let's get into this. Because it is an hour and a half long. Well, a little bit less, but roughly. Oh, an hour and 28 minutes and 14 seconds. Plus commentary.
All right, then that brings us to our final matter, which is a contested hearing, in which case we had an appearance, an answer, and a counterclaim filed. So now we will turn to that matter. So this is 24002550, and it's Cindy Hu versus Build 512. On behalf of the plaintiff,
Yes.
good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
All right, and on behalf of the defendant, Build 512,
Yes, ma'am. Tony Villarreal. I own Build 512.
good afternoon, Mr. Villarreal. So you're the owner.
Good
Okay.
afternoon. I am.
All right. And we have what's called a counterclaim in this one. So both parties have alleged something against the other. So I'm going to give you some information, or rather more about like what's expected, how we're going to do the case, how it goes back and forth, and then we will just take it from there, okay? And
Okay.
let me just reassure both parties, Ms. Hu, Mr. Villarreal, you don't need to be a lawyer to successfully represent yourself in a justice court case, okay? You know, it can be a little strange, it could be odd, suddenly you're looking at Zoom in a whole new way, but we want to get to the heart of the matter. What are the facts? What are the dates, the who, what, and the where, and then we can make an outcome. Okay, so don't worry about stumbling over correct terminology. We're going to look at the actual underlying situation. All right, I just like to give that, especially when I got pro se parties. They're a little worried about me. We're going to be just fine. All right, let me go ahead and swear both of you in. Ms. Hu, Mr. Villarreal, if you'll both raise your right hands. Do you understand that by appearing in court and offering testimony today, you are swearing to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under a penalty of perjury? Do you so swear?
Yes, I do.
I do.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. All right, both sworn. All right. Now you both have a claim against the other. So the way I'd like to highlight it is I'm going to kind of review for you what I read, and then I want you to both tell me if that's correct, and then we would start with the actual testimony of things, okay? So, Ms. Hu, if I understand, the lawsuit is that you hired the defendant to perform some work on your property. That
Yes.
work was not performed and in fact required some repairs. And so you are seeking the cost of those damages, and that in the petition was at $7,000.
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Villarreal, on the counterclaim, you said that the plaintiff actually breached the contract and has unclean hands. And specifically in the counterclaim, which is for $19,000, you say that the plaintiff changed the scope of the work, that she is attempting to extort you of money, and then there is a claim for slander and libel. Is that correct, Mr. Villarreal?
It is. I also sent 172 pages of corroborating evidence,
Okay,
including
we'll get to that.
signatures over to the clerk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Villarreal, just answer my questions.
Yes.
We're going to get there, okay?
Yes.
Of the $19,000 you're claiming, how much is for the slander and libel?
We've modified pleadings, or at least the damages in today's suit, to exclude libel and slander.
Okay, so you're taking that out of your claim.
I am.
Good, because I don't have jurisdiction for what I was going to tell you had to be dismissed anyway.
Yep.
Okay, how much of the claim then remains? What are you suing for? What's the amount of money that you're alleging?
The exact amount is $19,547.65.
And how do you calculate that?
It's calculated in Exhibit L of the damages worksheet I sent
Just
over.
tell me, Mr. Villarreal, do you have actual damages?
Actual damages.
Holy cows. And he was paid something at least for the remodel job, and that's a lot of money. This is why I leave my home the crap hole that it is. You know, I'd rather live in a duct tape cardboard box and be happy than live in a mansion and be miserable. And $19,000, that'd make me pretty darn miserable.
Yeah.
That's quantified as flooring materials, our markup for flooring materials, our markup for floor installation labor, our markup for appliances in Exhibit I, the balance on the door hardware under contract, which is $300 in Exhibit J, the additional overhead for labor not included in the contract as Exhibit K.
All right, Mr. Villarreal, then we'll get into the details. All right.
Yep.
All right, then let me say we're going to take it as a normal counterclaim with the regular standard thing. So here's how it works. Ms. Hu, you get to go first. I want you to start and give me who, what, where, when, and how. Here's the most important part for both of you. Give me the contract and then highlight specifically on the contract what was and was not done. If y'all did things that are not related to the written contract, you must show me that you agreed to those things in writing. So, right? Because if you started with a written contract, you are both bound by a written contract. You can't change it unless you did it in writing.
Right.
So I want you both to be able to identify for me, here's the document, here's the date, here's where we both signed it, here's what we intended to do, and here's the price for it. Okay. So Ms. Hugh, you're suing, you said that you hired the plaintiff or the defendant to do work for you and that it was not performed and it required repairs. So tell me, how did you first come to hire the defendant's company?
Okay, I was referred to Build 512 by my designer, Erin, with she's the owner of Hello Kitchen. And after she finished design, she referred Build 512 to me. That's my first learn to, there's remodeling company. Yeah, that's
Okay.
how I get know.
What did you hire them to do for you and when?
You mean when the job got started?
Yeah, you called this company and said, I want you to do work for me. What did you hire them to do?
Okay, in the beginning, it was just remodeling the entire kitchen and the first floor.
Okay. So you hired them to remodel a kitchen
Yes,
and the first floor what?
flooring.
First floor's flooring. Were you replacing?
Replacing, yes.
What were you replacing?
Oh, replacing the tile and I believe I have partial hardwood floor to a new hardwood floor.
So you're pulling out the tile and you're putting in hardwood.
Yes,
Was the removal of the tile part of the job?
yes. It's all spelled out in the breakdown of the contract.
Fantastic. When was the contract signed?
I'm sorry, did you ask when the contract was signed in a?
Correct. So when did you enter into the contract with the defendant?
I believe, let me look to the.
By the way, every time a question is asked and Miss Who starts looking for things, there was a very, very long chunk of time that I clipped out. So just so you guys know, I've made it more watchable. But yeah, the judge was exceptionally patient. It's okay, sweetie. We just started. I love you, Linda Applegate.
Okay, it was printed out on February 10th, 2025. Let me see the signature page. It should be somewhere in. No, it should be done last year. Let's see, anniversary. So this is 20.
May I chime in, Your Honor?
Mr. Villarreal, I'll just highlight and warn that you're not required to help the plaintiff prove their case at all. It may be that you know that information, but you're not required to offer it. If you want to, you can, but I'll just say that you don't have to. If she doesn't know the date of the contract she sued on,
Yes, ma'am.
you can. I mean, that helps us get there because you have a counterclaim that you're also going to have to establish. So the same contract's going to help your case.
Exhibit A in my documents show her digital signature by IP address on October
Mr.
the 13th.
Villarreal, when did you submit something to our court?
Well, with my counterclaim, all I did was organize it for the purposes of today's hearing. And that was earlier today.
Okay, I'm like, sir, I don't have 111 anything. I have the last
Yeah.
thing I got on this case is from May. All right, we will go and I will see if I can pull all those things up. The contract was signed what day?
October 13th, 2023.
Yeah, that's what I found as well, Your Honor.
Submitting 172 pages the day of the hearing is insane. They have cutoff discovery dates for a reason.
So it's not in February of 2025.
No, I'm sorry. I saw the printout of the document I received from the Travis County. I looked at the wrong date.
Okay, Ms. Hu, do you have a copy of the contract between you and the defendant in front of you?
I have an electronic copy. Yes, I do.
So you have the contract, okay. And on the contract, what day did you sign it?
I signed it on October 13, 2023.
Okay, and does the contract have a date for performance to begin?
The performance it began. Let me scroll all the way up. I think it may be something. On the section,
I'm going to share my screen, Monsieur. Mr. Villarreal, is this a copy of the contract between the parties?
It appears to be, yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
What is
yes,
it? Estimate, breakdown,
Mhm.
yes, it is.
and I see a signature here.
Yes,
Right, and that's October 13th. All right, now, in this contract, it covers the scope of the work to be performed,
yes,
and it's made as of October 11th for design and build proposal within 10 days of receipt of permits. So here's your start date, right? Commencement of the contract is right down here.
yes, that's what I was looking at just now. Yes,
Let's see. Contractor shall start within 10 days of the permits. Contractor will make all reasonable efforts to substantially complete the work in accordance, subject to permit delays which are defined. No warranty or guarantee of completion by work by any specific date, although every work will be made, efforts can be made to get it done within 3 to 4 months. So it started within 10 days of permits. Monsieur, did the contract get started out okay? Did things
yes,
begin? Okay.
yes.
When did the problem arise then? So work began on time.
Okay, Your Honor. So everything went smoothly. I really enjoy working with the general contractor on my project, Travis, and also the Nathan, who is the relationship manager. He stopped by frequently after project started. It went so smooth in the beginning. And long story short, in the middle of my construction, I was thinking to get my bathroom remodel as well. So I talked to my designer. She started working on my design, my bathroom. I was considering them to do the job, but at the end, I choose not to use them. That I think when they learned I'm not gonna hire them to do the bathroom, it start to have a little bit hard feeling maybe. So because the job I filed a claim against them is changing hardware. They were not able to change the hardware during their construction period of time because that's the change of order. So they will have to wait until my bathroom completed. Because the bathroom subcontractor, I think they have sort of like insurance thing. They cannot come in while I have another crew working in my property. So they have to wait. And when my entire home got remodel is done, they find out the hardware they order for me is not going to fit to my doors. That's when it gets started.
Ms. Hugh, I do not understand how that happened. Okay. You hired the defendant to do work on your home.
Yes,
After they began the work, you decided to also redo your bathroom
yes,
and you hired someone else to do the bathroom.
yes.
Okay.
They
So,
came after they finished the job.
okay. What are you suing the defendant for? What did they do wrong?
So they during the remodeling, I found out I want to change the doorknob. I have a 3 sliding door and 1 French door. I want to change to black hardware, and I talked to my general manager Travis. I asked him, "Can you get me a quote and see how much it will cost to replace those hardware?"
Okay.
And that's a change order. And then he got me a quote. I signed change order, and then they ordered for me. But once the hardware arrived, my their job is done. They have already moved out of my house because they ordered late, or maybe it's long lead time. I don't know what happened. So I told him, you will have to come back when my second crew finish their job. They can install the hardware for me.
I still don't understand why you're suing the defendant. What did they do wrong?
Oh, they ordered the wrong hardware. The hardware they ordered doesn't fit my doors. So
Okay. All right,
they
Ms. Hugh.
refuse to. Yeah.
So you're saying the defendant ordered you the wrong hardware for the doors
Yes.
and refused to fix it.
Yes.
How much is that worth?
Because I paid about According to the change order, I believe I pay about $1,000 or $2,000, close to $2,000.
Miss
Yeah.
Hugh, with love and respect, you can't guess. Look at your bill and know what you paid. If you're suing them for stealing your money or you paying for something you didn't get, you have an obligation to know what you paid. I cannot estimate. So that's why I asked if you had a contract. Look at it. If you say you paid for hardware and they ordered the wrong thing, here's what I paid for, here's what I got, they won't give me the difference, or they haven't refunded it. So what did you pay?
Okay, I have to look into that, Your Honor. 1 second.
Okay, but so you asked them to order you specific door hardware, and they agreed, and then they bought the wrong thing.
Yes.
Okay, and after you discovered it was the wrong thing, did they get different hardware, or did they just refuse to do anything?
They asked for more money, and I refused to pay. I said, this is not according to the change order we signed.
Did they ask for more money because the hardware was more expensive?
Yes.
Well, that's your responsibility. If you originally stood a bid and you said, I want the $1 tile, and you changed your mind to go to the $3 tile, you have to pay the $3 price before they order it. Is that what happened?
No, if I know that it's more expensive, I probably will not proceed with changing this doorknob.
So you got a bid from the defendant to install door hardware and then changed your mind about the hardware after the contract began.
After the contract
Yeah,
began.
you signed a contract in October for them
Yes.
to remodel.
Right,
that
right.
room,
It's a
for them
change
to
of order,
remodel
yes.
Your kitchen and your first floor. And at some point, you then wanted to get a bathroom. Where is the door hardware? Is that for the bathroom or the kitchen?
Is the not bathroom, not kitchen. It's part of kitchen. It's in a connect to the kitchen. Yes.
Okay, so part of the kitchen that you had a contract with the defendant to remodel, as part of that contract, door hardware was going to be purchased.
Yes.
And at the time in October when you signed the contract, there was an agreement for how much the door hardware was going to cost.
I don't think it's part of that. It's change order. So during the remodeling, if anything we need to change, they send me a change order. I sign,
Okay.
approved. Yes, that's.
When you agreed to change the hardware, did you have a price that you agreed to pay?
Yes, that time, yeah.
And what was that price?
I'm sorry. I have to look into the change order to find the price.
While you're looking, I'm going to just read through the contract real quick if I can. I'm going to scan what y'all had agreed with each other.
Okay.
All right, let me just take a look here. This is tiny print. So scope of work is in its own thing, and then it is attached as part of the design and build proposal, which also has the price. So these are all terms and conditions. No change, and I see right at the top of page 2, change order. No change in the work and or the contract price shall be valid, binding, or effective unless authorized by a written change order signed by owner and contractors. You both got to agree to make a change in writing, which is valid and true because you already signed an agreement with each other. So, okay, you follow the statute of frauds, or at least you anticipated. All right, all consults. Let's get into the scope. Here we go, scope of work and estimate.
Your Honor, just for the sake of expediting this, it's attached to my paperwork from today as Exhibit C, and that is the digital signature from both Cindy Hu and myself, authorizing the change order for the purchase of door hardware. And I'll cover the semantics of it when I'm given an opportunity. But the contract adjustment via change order is included in Exhibit C.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I apologize for this. I have no experience on this. This is my first time in a court hearing. I'm not well prepared. I apologize, Your Honor.
So kitchen was going to be 80 grand, 36 for cabinets, 24 for counter or 25 for countertops, cabinet hardware. Is this the hardware we're talking about? Originally, it was budgeted out at 1584. I'm going to share my screen so we can all look at the same thing. When I'm looking at your scope, this is the contract between the parties. Is this the hardware that we're talking about here in, oh, that's the wrong button. I'm sorry, y'all. Is this it right here, cabinet hardware?
No, it is not, Your Honor.
All right, well, probably might have found it.
It wasn't included in the original scope at all.
Wasn't a part of it at all. So it's completely different hardware than the one that's in the thing. Ms. Yu, is that correct? Was this hardware not anticipated in the original contract?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so when you got a change order, How much was the hardware in the change order?
Yeah, that is what I'm trying to find out. I
All right,
think.
Mr. Villarreal, this is where you said you've got that and I can pull it up faster.
It is, yes, ma'am. It's page 40 of the documents I provided today, and all I did was chronologically change them for the sake of this testimony.
We're fine. Let me see if I can get to it quickly. All right, I'm going to share my screen. I see a change order for replacing door hardware. I'm going to share my screen. Miss, you see if you recognize this, okay?
Yes.
Okay, here is the document. It says Alabaster change order. Cindy Hugh, Sir Ivor Core, door replacement.
Yes.
Is this the change order?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Mr. Villarreal, this is the change order with your company?
It is, yes, ma'am.
Who's Alabaster?
Build 512 is the same company. We have a DBA.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this one, suddenly we've got a different set of door handles because this is about patio doors, French room doors, and game panel doors. So we're not in the kitchen at all. All right. Wrong door hardware. So this one is now, this is for 1103. And replace door hardware. Hardware style will match the hardware on the quote provided by the client from the initial purchase of the doors. Ms. Yu, did you provide a copy of this initial purchase of doors from Northfield to the defendant so he'd understand what hardware style you were using?
I did provide an original purchase order from a distributor of the doors.
So you showed him the hardware you were trying to match.
No, well, they were during their remodeling. Travis saw the door. He was trying to find out the serial number of the door, but he was not able to see. He said it's too tiny, and he asked if you have an original copy of the order, I can provide it. He can verify, and I did find it in my email. I bought the door about 3 years ago before I did a job with them. So I provided to him as a reference so he can look into more detail of the door model number to order the.
Okay, Ms. Hugh, the
Yes.
door you wanted to match, when did you purchase that hardware?
Hardware. It was come with a door replaced during COVID time. I believe was 2020. I bought a house 2020. It might be 2020, between 2020 to 2021. That's
Okay.
my best.
So you had a door from 2020, and in 2024, you said, I want you to match the hardware on that door. And did you give him a photo or an invoice of the door handle and the hardware where you bought it in 2020?
Yes, I provide the entire invoice I got from the distributor. Yes.
Do you have a picture of the hardware that you were trying to match to show me and then show me what you ended up getting?
Can I bring the computer and show you what they installed and what they did not install yet? Is that
Go
what you're
ahead.
asking for?
Why don't you, so you're suing altogether.
Yes.
You want $7,000. What is that $7,000 composed of, Miss Yu?
Okay.
Maybe that'll get us there.
Sure. It contains 3 things. Actually, 4 things. One is the $3,000 flooring. I pay extra. I think that's what he is trying to counterclaim against me. And 1.9.
Miss Yu,
Yes.
you're suing for $7,000. You want $3,000 for flooring. Why do you want $3,000 for flooring? Did they not deliver it? Is it the wrong flooring? Did they make a mistake? What's the $3,000 related to?
Okay, the $3,000 because I consigned the flooring to them to install for me, and because of their mistake, they have to take extra. They have to take out the floor with knobs in my front foyer, so cost me I have to order extra flooring for them to install for me.
And you believe they were negligent and that's why it cost you extra money?
Yes, I do.
All right, so $3,000 for flooring negligence. What's the rest of the $7,000? You said there were 4 items. What are the others?
Right, $1,900 kitchen appliance installation. I paid on the contract, page 11. It's spelled out. It's 1,900 is the kitchen appliance installation, but it was installed by Ferguson, which I ordered the appliance. So they did not.
Okay, so you had anticipated the defendant installing the appliances, but you did
Yes.
not actually use them.
Right, exactly.
Did you discuss with the defendant that you were no longer going to use them despite having added in the contract?
No, no, ma'am, I did not. Right.
Are you allowed to do that? If I said, I'm hiring you to work for me next week, and I call you tomorrow and say, I changed my mind, I hired someone else, shouldn't you be able to get the money from me because you turned down work? If you told the defendant and signed a contract and said, I'm hiring you to do this, and then you changed your mind, that's a possibility. So 1900, was it 1900 for the install, or was that with the cost of the appliances?
No, installation.
That's just it?
Installation, yes. On
Okay.
page 11.
All right, what are the next items? So it's 3,000 for the flooring, 1,900 because you didn't use them for the kitchen appliances. What's the next thing?
The next is they accidentally threw out my couch that was supposed to stay in my garage for the remodeling. Yes, the
How old
couch.
was the couch?
The couch, I bought it for about 1,000
When?
in 2021.
All right.
I bought a house in 2020, so around 2021.
Okay. It was $1,000 when it was new in 2021.
Yes,
And this was in 2024 that the couch went missing.
yes.
All right. What's the other thing you're suing for?
The remaining is the door hardware.
And how much is that?
1,100. But I don't. Well, yeah.
And that's the door hardware on the patio doors, the sliding doors?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the flooring, let's start with that one. Consigned flooring and negligence. Do you have any photos of the flooring?
Photos of the flooring, they did. Well, they've already fixed the problem.
All right.
Yes.
Here's this. So they came in and they did some flooring work, and you came back, and did you discover there was a problem with the flooring?
Actually, it was not me. It was Nathan and Travis, the general manager, called me the next day. Actually, maybe the same day, the subcontractor did a job. They found out what they did was not correct. And Nathan was very honest. He said, Cindy, you have to come out to see the floor. And then when I was at my house to see the flooring, I was like, because, I ordered the natural wood flooring. So the natural wood come with the knot, the like black small thing is knot, and it come with the black knot. It is normal, but it is not normal that they lay out, when they install, they lay out all the black knot in front of my foyer. For example, 2 out of 10, they have that black knot, and if you spread them out into your house, it is okay. You don't see that all in your front foyer, but the subcontractor put like.
Ms. Hu, let me ask you this. Did they install it correctly? They just didn't mix the wood up enough to make it obvious that it wasn't the same type of wood with the print on it?
Yes.
Because they installed it right. You just didn't like the aesthetics of how it looked when you came in.
It's not me, it is Nathan. He said.
It's your house you're suing. I'm asking you. If they installed it correctly, why are you suing for $1,900 or for $3,000? Is it because it wasn't pretty to look at? They used the same exact tile next to each other?
No, they put all the knot together in the front yard, front entrance. Your
Why
Honor.
is that a problem?
Does
it prevent you from using the floor?
It does not, but it's just look not right. Even.
So it's an aesthetic. You don't like how it looks.
Right.
But it's otherwise fine.
Otherwise,
I got a haircut. They didn't cut my scalp, but I don't like the way I look now in my new haircut. They installed the floor correctly. Your complaint is that they use too many of the same pieces of wood in a row so that when I look at it, all the knotty pieces are right up front and not evenly distributed throughout the house.
Yes, that's correct.
So it's an aesthetic complaint. Got it. An aesthetic issue. So then my question is, do you have any photos for me to see this, or did you already replace it?
They've already replaced it.
Who replaced it for you?
It's the same. The next day, Nathan and Travis asked the subcontractor come back to replace it because they admitted it is their neglect. They should have already.
That's fine. Ms. Hu, did you have to pay for them to redo it?
No, they admit it's their mistake, so they pay for it.
Then why are you suing for it if you already got it fixed?
It's a little bit long story. I don't know if you have the time to listen to me because
I
I
have
like
plenty of time. This is your lawsuit, Miss Hughes. So tell me, I'm just
Okay.
saying, if they fixed it, then you've been made whole. You don't get any
Yes,
money for
I
the
never thought I want to sue them, be honest. There's this issue as long as the other kitchen appliance and also the loss of my sofa. I never thought I want to sue them because Nathan has been done a good job as well as Travis. It's
Okay.
just at the end, Tony gave me so bad attitude towards installing the hardware threw me to an edge. I feel I have to stand up to myself, to defend myself. Yes, that's
Miss
why
Hughes,
I decided to
you
include.
sued them. If
Yes,
you're suing them for $3,000 for flooring, you have to prove to me that you've been harmed. If they did it wrong and you complained and they fixed it, you don't get that money now. You now have a floor that's pretty and you're using it, correct?
yeah, but I paid $3,000 extra to buy the actual flooring to
That's what
replace.
I'm asking. Did you have to spend extra money?
Yes, I do. I did. I have
You
an
had to buy
invoice.
that flooring again and they didn't compensate you for that.
No, they did not.
So is the $3,000 your actual cost to buy the flooring for them to redo
Yes,
that section?
yes, I did. I have an
Okay,
invoice.
now I need to see the photos. So what you want me to say is that, do you have it in writing from them agreeing that they will redo it because it's their fault? Ms. Hugh, do you have anything in writing from anyone related to the defendant that says we did it wrong, we'll pay to fix it?
They fix it the next few days.
The fact that they fixed it doesn't mean they admitted they did it wrong, because they're your contractor. They're going to do anything you tell them to do. What I need you to prove is either they did it so bad, anyone with sight could look at it and say that's ugly and it has to be fixed, or in writing, they said, you're right, we will do it at our cost. You have either of those things.
Verbally, I don't have written, but verbally, Nathan and Travis.
Verbal doesn't get you there, Miss Hugh. You have a written contract. If they would take responsibility, you got to get them to cover that in writing. Do you have any photos or anything that tells me how it looked at the time?
Can I look at my phone and see if they send me a picture of text message?
Go ahead, Miss Hugh. I'm going to look through the contract again to see if there's anything in there about, fit and finish.
No, I don't have a text message with photos for the flooring.
All right. How about the appliances? You said that you just hired a different company. And in the contract, it originally was going to be $1,900 for the install?
Yes,
Okay. And I see that. That's section 5500, appliances install,
Yes.
professional installation. It's just that installation.
yes,
Okay, 1900 for that. And then the couch, they threw out your couch?
yes. I have a
At
text
that time.
message. Actually, I just saw a text message showing that I text Travis that that couch stays.
Okay. When you discovered the couch was missing, did you report that to the defendant?
Yes, I reached out to Travis. I asked, "Oh, where's my white couch?" Oh, he said, "Oh, did they accidentally throw it out?" I said, "Yeah."
All right. I'm sorry. I had something similar happen to me. They threw away a really nice rug. All right. How about the wrong door hardware on the sliding door? So I can see that there was a change order, that new hardware was going to be purchased that needed to match something. So you said you provided them. Did you need, or was the hardware already installed that you were trying to match? Was it present in the home?
No, they took it. So I have 3 sliding door, 1 French door. So what they ordered, 2 works. So 2 right now I have 2 sliding door hardware changed to black. 1 French door and one another sliding door remain white. The vendor they use MGI, they took the hardware with them because I did not purchase with them. Build 512 is the owner of that hardware, so they took them even though it doesn't fit. But they also take my original hardware, the white one. So right now my 4-door, I have 2 white, 2 black. If you want to see, I can show you.
So you had 3 sliding doors and a set of French doors.
Yes,
And originally, what color were their door handles on the hardware?
they're all white.
And you wanted to replace them to be all black?
Yes.
And were you trying to match hardware to something else in the house?
Yes,
What were you trying to match it to?
to my kitchen, because my kitchen has a dark tone cabinet, so I'm
Okay.
trying to match.
Now, the contract had already been signed, and all of these things that she's complaining about are modifications that she has chosen along the way of remodeling, not just with this guy, but with the other contractor that she decided to swoop in there. And there's another element. There is another layer to this blooming onion.
At the time you were wanting to install the new door hardware, was the hardware you were wanting to match already installed in the kitchen?
Yes,
So if I was there and you said, I want to match this, I could have looked at your kitchen cabinets and seen the thing that you were trying to match.
yes.
Okay. And they, despite having that example, ordered 2 black and that's it? Or they ordered
No,
nothing?
they order all black.
Okay. But they were not matching?
It's not fit. They order the wrong parts.
You said they don't fit. So let's take it one time. They ordered 4 parts for you.
Yes.
Okay. And were the 4 when they arrived, are they the right style? Do they fit the thing that you were trying to match?
I'm sorry, my English is not that good. I confuse you so much. So what it is they ordered 4 black hardware, 2
Uh-huh.
fit. The other 2 doesn't fit the model. The model they ordered was wrong. So it cannot install to my door.
Okay. Did they install the 2 that did fit?
Yes. So
Okay.
right now I have 2 black hardware, 2 white.
So you have the 2 original and 2 new.
Yes.
And the 2 that didn't fit, had you already paid for that hardware?
I paid the change order before they come out to.
Is that for the hardware?
Yes. And the installation. Yes.
Yes. So you had already paid for 4 hardwares and installations, and they gave you 2 of those.
Yes.
Have they refunded you the other half of the money?
No. That's
Okay.
why I started this.
All right. And altogether for those 4, you paid $1,900?
No, 11, I'm sorry, 11, we're talking
1,100.
about, yes,
So you got half the benefit of that bargain. So you're out $550. You paid in $550 for 2 damn handles and they never gave them to you.
right.
$1,100 for 4 and you got 2 of them.
The French door, I believe, is slightly more, because the other sliding door is,
Do you have that to show me? Because otherwise I'm going to just divide it in half and give you $550 for problem.
Your Honor, I don't, yes.
I love that through this whole thing that Purnell Hunter guy has that WTF look on his face. Like he's trying to follow along and he's just, what? He's kind of like we all are.
Cool. Then I give you $550 on that one. All right. Okay. So the things you were suing for, Miss Hugh, $3,000 for consigned flooring negligence. You don't have any photos. I understand what you're saying is that it wasn't pretty. They put all of the exact same boards together. And I absolutely understand. I've seen this done in a horrible shower remodel where they put 5 matching tiles on one side of the left and then everything else was intermixed. And it just, to any reasonable person, that is not the way you would install the tile. I get that. But they fixed it for you. You had to spend money for the extra flooring.
Yes, that's correct.
And that cost $3,000.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. You said that when they first installed it, and you said a name, that someone came and then called you and said they've done this badly. Who is that person?
Okay, it was Nathan.
Who's Nathan?
Nathan works for Alabaster, so now their name is Alabaster or Build 512, and also
someone who works for the defendant
yes.
said we don't
You have to come out, take a look. I think something is not right. We need to discuss. And then the next day I came, and Nathan and Travis is the general is the general manager for this project manager of, and both of both of them work for Build 512. So they came out to me say, Cindy, I need to show you this. And when I look at that, I was like, oh my God, it's not pretty. They said, yeah, we know. So what do you want us to do? I said, well, we need to fix it. And they agreed. They said, I asked, why don't you communicate to the subcontractor before they install the hardwood floor and the layout? You should give a very clear instruction on the layout, how layout they should get the job done, because that's why I hire you, pay the extra money, and they admit it's their neglect, and then they are willing to fix it. I feel since they've already have a willing to fix it, so I just move on. And at that time, they said they will cover everything, including the hardwood floor.
Monsieur, do you have that in writing? A text message, an email, anything where you confirm it? Anything at all other than like you told me over the phone? Anything in writing?
Yeah, I double checked. They just fixed everything, but nothing.
They just fixed it, and then y'all didn't put anything in writing. All right. And then for the hardware, we went through that. You paid for 4, you got 2. For the couch, they threw it out. And then for the installation, you just said you didn't use them. So you think, I want my money back because I paid, y'all didn't do it. All right.
Yeah, that's all.
All right. Anything else that you're suing for, Ms. Yu?
No.
All right. You did very well. I know I ask a lot of rapid questions, but truly, 2 thumbs up. You answered all of the things and we got where we wanted to go. All right. Mr. Villarreal, thank you for your patience.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I'm trying to think if I want to start with you going through as a defendant to each of these things and then the counter. So let's do it that way. Let's first start with the case in chief, and I'll ask you for your answers to her 4 claims, and then we'll do the counterclaim, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's start with the 4 things. One thing she says is that your company was hired, and it sounds like your company and then some of the DBAs as well, all part of it. We're working as the
Same company rebranded. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fantastic. Totally fine, y'all. Listen, people do that all the time. A pretty large remodel, so I hope, looks good. Things that she's suing for. So I will say, and I'll highlight for both parties here, out of a very big contract, there's a small dispute between the parties. So I will just highlight their both sides because I understand people but you got a big $90,000 contract and we're here for a much smaller amount with no huge, understandably, any frustration in a remodel is no good. But I mean, I've had some where they took all the money and never showed back up.
He's pissed at how much he's losing having to sit on this call for hours and hours and hours. If he's doing 150K remodel jobs, this is costing him a lot of money.
So here we're not having that. So I like to say that. All right, so Mr. Villarreal, the first thing, which is that there was the floor installation. And if I'm understanding Ms. Yu correctly, and I think I did, is that when they put down the hardwood flooring, too many of the exact same floor pieces got put together so that it was, a little obvious when you looked at it. There was an understandable aesthetic concern about it. The installation was not done incorrectly. So whoever the sub was that did that did it right. They just, maybe weren't looking at what they were putting down and went, oh, I put all the closer, which I get. So she said that upon inspection, members of your firm said that this doesn't look good, and then reached out to the sub, and the sub agreed to redo it, and she had to pay for the cost of the materials. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. What parts of that are incorrect, or where would the distinctions be?
So on April the 2nd, the project manager, Travis Bach, reached out to me by telephone and said that there was a problem with the knots in the floor. As a sidebar, I will say that the flooring that she ordered is not prime, meaning that there is no understanding as to how many knots will come in that flooring. And so she selected it with a vendor and designer, and we were not involved in that process or paid for design on that. She told us what flooring she wanted. It is a subprime floor, meaning not a level A floor. And with that, there are a lot of knots. On April 2nd, the reason that my team reached out to me is that the way that they had sealed those knots, which is pretty typical in engineered floors, is they covered the knots with an epoxy. That epoxy is black and it seals some of the voids around the natural wood knots that are present. Engineered floor is layered or like wafers. And so that epoxy looked to be dark. It looked to be like a manufacturing issue. And when they were very near each other, it looked pretty rough. And that wasn't, again, our selection. but we did not like the way it looked. We didn't think that it should stay if it were our home. And this was obviously done after installation that we found this. So it wasn't ever a requisite that we lay out flooring. Sometimes that's required or requested by clients. It wasn't in the contract that we lay it out and get approval. So we pointed out the quality of the flooring. We had actually suggested a different vendor who could source the same flooring for less. But the plaintiff had a personal relationship with Mr. Chen, who provided the flooring, which will be part of my counterclaim. When we pointed this out, he was very argumentative and said that the solution would be hiding the imperfections underneath furniture. We did not have a furniture layout. We did not know where furniture would go. So we were kind of, for lack of a better word, bullied into taking out 28 pieces of flooring, which are in the notes. So there's a construction management software, which unfortunately I can't find a way of exporting those images, but my team on April the 9th, 7 days after we had pointed out this manufacturing error, we paid $2,100 in labor for our subcontractor to go back out and remove said 28 pieces of flooring, clean out the underlayment we had put for leveling, provide glue, and then labor to tooth in is what we call new pieces of flooring, provided by the plaintiff's friend who provided flooring. We were never requested to pay for that flooring. We never had any verbal or other agreement to pay for flooring. And as I said, we were kind of bullied into repairing the issue that we pointed out as a manufacturing defect.
So that's odd. Why did he not have any involvement in the ordering of the flooring? That sounds rather peculiar, to hire a contractor and then you provide the flooring instead of them. I wonder what's going on here.
Mr. Villarreal, let me ask you this. Did one of your subs install the flooring from the vendor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so who put the epoxy down?
The manufacturer. We didn't put any epoxy. That came direct from the manufacturer.
Yeah, that's where I got a little lost in
Yeah.
the story. So I see the epoxy is part of the final sealing before they ship out the floor.
Correct. It goes in before the polyurethane sealant is on the floor and before it's shipped. So when it came in boxes, it was already defective.
I'm sure the manufacturer wouldn't agree, but I understand what you're saying.
And
But
I would say it's more of an aesthetic,
And I see that, right? Some people, like, I have kind of the gray wood floors and people hate that. They think it looks dusty. I love it because no one can see the scratches. My frig got super high gloss shine and they're gorgeous, but ooh, any little smudge, there it goes, right? So back and forth. Kudos to y'all for dealing with hardwood. Miss Hugh, it's always fun. All right. So Mr. Villarreal, your company went ahead and removed it all. Ms. Hugh purchased more of the wood. It got delivered, and then your subcontractor installed it again.
Yes, ma'am.
But this time, did it look exactly the same, or was it laid out a different way? How did that?
We had to go through the boxes that were provided to pull out pieces with knots to meet her aesthetic expectations. So again, there was never any understanding that we do that before, nor did we know where furniture go. We pointed out this problem as a manufacturing aesthetic defect. The request was that we provide flooring without defects from boxes that were provided, which also required that she buy more than she needed for 28 pieces so that we could sort out the pieces that were essentially defective from those boxes as well. So this kind of premise that she had to buy $100 worth of flooring is completely
buy
arbitrary.
10 Pokemon boxes to get the 2 cards you're looking for.
Exactly.
You get in all of them.
Great
I got
analogy.
it. I understand how that works. I've having done this many times and experienced it and heard the cases. I understand how that works because they print out in a big batch and then they slice it and then you don't really know. And essentially I get the same 5 pieces, but I need to get the one-off piece. All right. All right. So combination of things there. All right. How about the kitchen appliances? Ms. Hughes says that it was a part of the contract, but in the end, y'all did not actually install the kitchen appliances. Is that correct?
Categorically false. There's some emails in my attachment. So in the original contract, and by the way, we were first reached out to by Ms. Hugh and her designer, who we do a lot of projects with in May of 23. That contract was not signed until October 11th of 2023. So there was, 5 months ish of back and forth and contract negotiation. It looked like there are 8 copies that we modified before we had a final signature from Ms. Hu. And in that, she found out that she could get her appliances cheaper by buying direct and not paying the markup. As a general contractor, we mark up our labor and materials, and that's how we make money for overseeing projects. So we don't ever, by the way, make concessions for not including materials because we provide pretty extensive warranties on those materials and the workmanship for installation. So at the request of the client, we excluded appliances from our original contract, which is shown in our Exhibit A, signed by both the plaintiff and our company. And we charged for, at the time, what was an allowance for the installation of appliances, a double oven, a range, a vent hood, different things like that. And by the way, we had not yet seen the appliances that were going to be purchased. We had only seen what was being looked at in what was called a lookbook.
So is she undercutting the contractor on all of the supplies and materials so that she gets a cheaper deal on it all? And he gets screwed out of the profit margin of the contract? Wow.
Had no specs, nothing of the sort. So we put in a placeholder, if you will, for appliance installation. The plaintiff hired Ferguson, I believe, and we have a copy of her invoice to them, which is attached to my documents as Exhibit D. That's a copy of her appliance list, and she told us that Ferguson would be handling installation. So at this point, we're not getting paid for appliances. We're not getting paid for appliance installation. We did not pull it off like we would normally do via a change order or credit. So there is never any written agreement to pull it off. However, when Ferguson shows up, they found out that everything was wrong. They would not install the garbage disposal because they don't do that. They would not connect the vent hood to the HVAC system because they're not licensed HVAC technicians. They forgot to point out that the vent hood that Mrs. Hu and her husband ordered required a roof-mounted unit before we were done with framing, drywall, and insulation. So now we're working backwards. So again, this I call it negligence in my causes of action, but it's like you hire a general contractor for their expertise and knowledge and partnership, and then you cut them out to save money and then get really pissed when they don't execute on the things you cut them out for. So there is an email discussion, 2 actually shown in the exhibits, which are Exhibit B and Exhibit F. And their email exchanges with Miss Cindy Hu, wherein we talk about all of the costs that we incurred, which were over and above the $1,900 for appliance installation, to have an HVAC technician, a plumber, and an electrician all return to install the appliances that Ferguson could not connect.
All right. And then how about the couch?
The couch was not pointed out until Ms. Hu had, so first of all, I'm texting now and doing a search. So I've never heard of a couch until today. I don't even think that it was in her original pleadings. If it was, I may have missed it. But I texted my project manager at the time about a couch, and he said that he found out after the property had been turned over to another builder. So we did not, in fact, get the renovations of the bathrooms that were included. We did use her garage for a storage place. However, before we turned that property over to her builder, we had never been notified of any missing couch.
All right.
If Cindy can provide a receipt for the couch and a date that shows that she notified my team prior to our turning that over to the builder, I'll concede the couch and gladly cover it.
Okay. And how about the door hardware?
I'll go over this with you in full, but the door hardware, we don't do anything willy-nilly. I'm not a chuck in a truck. We have an accounting team, we have project managers, purchasing agents, all W-2 employees, and we have contracts. So that change order for the door hardware is shown as Exhibit C. And if you want to jump into that, I'll get a page number now. I think I shared it with you earlier to pull up as evidence for Ms. Hu. But if we go down to Exhibit Z, and I'll get you a page number here in a second.
Like I'm getting through the
Page 40-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of emails here.
Yeah. So if we go to, we'll start at Exhibit C in its entirety. If we go to Exhibit,
I'll share my screen, Mr. Villarreal,
yeah.
Just one, that way we can all see. So, Ms. Hu, I want you
absolutely.
to see what we're looking at. Okay, so this is it was pre-marked by the defendant. This is what Exhibit C is, and I'm just gonna, Mr. Villarreal, before you start, what I do is we page through it so you can see what they are. So Exhibit C is this page, this page, this page, this page, that. Continues on until we get to right here. Okay, so it's quite a few pages long.
Yes, ma'am.
It's about 20 pages long, actually, if we're starting at 40, a little before 40.
Yeah, 38 to 60. So, yep.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Mr. Villarreal.
So if you'll note the date on the top right of the email is July 29th. That's when we printed it. But this email originally was sent June 12th of 2024.
Okay.
We wrapped this project for the plaintiff in late June and then waited nearly a month for final payment and went through what we call a series of punch requests. They were doing some traveling, but if you notice, this change order was not requested during construction. It was at the very end of the project. So we were already exiting the property. We were wrapping up our time in her home. And she approached the project manager and said, I want some door hardware. And we said, what door hardware? And I'll get to that in a minute. But on my team, my director of finance and purchasing manager requested from Mira Gallery hardware on specific doors, specifically the doors on lines 1, 6, 8, and 19. Could you please send us a few options with pricing? The attachment that's shown on the email is included as the third part of Exhibit C. However, yeah, that one. So Amazing Exteriors is where the doors were actually purchased. And if you can scroll up, it looks like this was sent to the plaintiff on May 22nd of 2020. So it wasn't actually done in 2024 or 2023. It was done in 2020.
Okay.
This manufacturer replied to my purchasing team that they were unable to provide hardware for those doors, and then we needed to reach out to a different provider. So without having been paid or having any agreement, my team reached out to MGI, who provides all of the different brands provided by the plaintiff in their bid from Amazing Exteriors. And we went through the list of doors and the specs provided directly by the plaintiff. Now, granted, we weren't on site. We didn't highlight which doors she marked on these plans and told us which one she wanted. We sent them to MGI and were provided two options. One was a less expensive in black hardware, which she wanted. One was the more expensive. We sent over a change order after discussion for the cheaper because we were a little budget conscious at this point. So it looks like on June 25th, my team found a solution, sent it over. It was approved on July 3rd. Again, we're exiting the property when this is approved.
Approved by who?
Approved by Cindy. It's signed digitally July 3rd, 2024.
And that's what the visit is.
Correct.
Okay.
So every time there has been a major F up, it's been Cindy's fault.
Now, Mr. Villarreal, when you sent this to Ms. Hu for her to approve, did you send her photos of what the hardware was going to look like?
No, ma'am, we didn't have it. We didn't have any images. There was one option for black hardware that was cheap and one that was expensive. And they were direct from the manufacturer of the door. So no images were provided. And I'm logging in to verify that that wasn't in the change order and that for some reason left it out.
In the change order, it said that plaintiff was going to give you information about it, right?
Correct. And that's that
that
report from the manufacturer, the installer of the windows.
Because the change order is, I thought it was part of your exhibits too. Because here's hers. Also, you've got your contract. Because I asked Ms. Hu about this one, right? In the change order, it said that her information given by the plaintiff, and then I don't see it in here. So you didn't get any photos of what the hardware was supposed to be, did you?
Nope.
She said that the hardware was, Ms. Hu, I'm gonna let you come back. Mr. Villarreal, she said that you were able to go and look at it there in the property. Do you know if anyone ever did that?
Yes, ma'am. We tried to find the serial number, but because of how old the doors were, we couldn't. And so that's when she provided this original order form.
Okay, just so I'm clear though, everyone knew we were trying to match something, but when you actually ordered it, other than knowing they were black and cheaper, you had no idea what they looked like.
That's correct.
Okay, but they were bought anyway.
That's correct.
All right, when they arrived, did they match?
They matched but didn't fit. So,
okay, so correct. So of the four, because that's what she said. She said of the four, 2 worked and got installed, 2 did not fit. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. What happened to those?
They're in a box with her original hardware, and we have an email from Ms. Hu that says that we can keep them in our possession. We offered to return the original hardware so she would have functioning hardware, as well as notified her that because this was a special order, the vendor was not allowing any returns or exchanges. We provided her pricing for the correct unit that I don't know if she picked the wrong door in the line item. My understanding is the door that she highlighted in the change order, which we call that in that email, is not actually the door that was getting replaced. So I don't know if that was an error on the plan set that she gave us or what, but the vendor said that it would be an additional fee to get the right hardware for the door that she actually wanted changed. When we reached out about the fee, all hell essentially broke loose. I would also point out that in July, we relinquished control of this property to a different builder to renovate her bathrooms. So we no longer had control of the property or access.
Okay, Mr. Villarreal, when the hardware change was anticipated and the change
Mhm.
order was made, I get it, it's toward the end of the project, coming to the end, but we're doing a change order for hardware.
Mhm.
The hardware was ordered, it came, it was delivered, 2 were installed, 2 didn't fit. When you ordered, I asked you if you had any photos, and you said no, that you made the order based on her original purchase, that was that Cindy Hugh from Amazing Exteriors.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Well, Cindy, who's the plaintiff, but Amazing Exteriors, yes, ma'am.
but that's who she had originally purchased them there, right?
Correct.
Okay, and so now she was looking to match them. And
Correct.
you said that, did Ms. Hugh, the plaintiff, did she give you the measurements of the models of the doors and the windows that she had gone with?
Yeah, it's called out in that email that's in the attachment, June 12th. What was provided to our team is the doors 1, 6, 8, and 19 specifically called out.
Okay, let's do it together.
Sorry. Yep.
Now you're familiar with all of this, right? Y'all have been dealing with it for over a year now. I'm on 1 hour of this. Okay, so when I'm looking at this email, we have a client who wants to replace the door hardware with some Marvin doors with black hardware. We need hardware for options on lines 1, 6, 8, and 9. What are you referring to when you say lines 1, 6, 8, and 19?
Yeah, so if you scroll down to the Amazing Exteriors bid, this was the attachment provided by the plaintiff. If you scroll down to the next page of that, you'll see
This
that
is
there are
part of
line
that.
items.
So
It is.
Ms. Yarrell, this is part of this. This is page 1.
Correct. That's the cover page.
Okay.
And this is the continuation all the way through page 60 of our cooperating documents.
Okay, and so the
So
things
if you
we're looking
see,
for in this are items 1, 6, 8, and 19. 1, 6, 8, and 19. Mr. Villarreal, this is an email from your company to the mirror place.
correct.
How did you know it was 1, 6, 8, and 19?
It's what was relayed to my project manager verbally.
Okay, so there's no written proof of that.
No, ma'am.
So she told it to him, and how did he come up with 1, 6, 8, and 19? Did she do that? Did she have this? Or is
She
that
did.
he came up with that?
No, she provided this and told him which doors.
1, 6, 8, and 9. 19.
19.
This one. All right. Ms. Who?
Yes, Your
How
Honor.
about that? Let's review. So this is the original order form when you got those doors. And cool, right? On this one, do you know, and ignoring all of the numbers we've heard, looking at these 2 pages of doors, can you identify the 4 doors that you were trying to replace?
I be honest, I have to zoom in to see the by the room and then by the description, whether it's sliding door, French door, then I know those
There's
are
multiple of each. So really my question is this, Ms. Hugh, did you identify for the defendant's
no,
employee which doors?
no, I provided as a reference. I told Travis, this is what I got, but you need to verify by yourself.
Ms. Who, let's go
Yes.
back. Did you identify which of the doors in that invoice were actually paid? Because this, I'll just share it again, right? There's no knowledge of what you've got in your house, okay? If you said to me, I want you to buy me 4 new door handles and match the doors, and you gave me a list of 22 doors, I'd say, which of these 4 are the one I need to replace? Did you identify the 4 items to be replaced using this list?
I think I did.
Okay. And
I
then
think I did.
so you told them 1, 6, 8, and 19, and then you said, and please confirm.
Yes, please confirm. Yes,
Okay.
this is
So
what I
you,
have received from the distributor when I placed the order with them. Yes.
all right. All right, Mr. Villarreal, thank you. You've given me good information related to Ms. Hugh's original claim. Let's turn to your counterclaim, Mr. Villarreal. What are you seeking as a total amount of money from the defendant? I'm from the counter defendant.
Let me get back to my attachments. I apologize. Looks like the total we are requesting based on what I intend to present is $19,547 and $19,547.65.
All right, what's the largest item in that?
Flooring materials,
And how much is that for?
$6,249.09.
What is that related to?
The purchase of flooring for the downstairs and upstairs of the home, based on the contract that was signed by the client.
How is it breached?
Yeah, so if you can scroll to Exhibit G with me. Scrolling down, I'll get you a page number here in a second.
Okay, it's page 126. Flooring materials, 67 units, profit, lost profit. Were you supposed to install flooring?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you not, did the plaintiff change her mind and not have you install the flooring?
She did. After we had had a signed contract and selection, we had hired installers as subs, and obviously that includes our profit as well.
Was that flooring the 6,200 part of the original scope of work?
It was, yes, ma'am.
All right, and when did the Ms. Who change her mind and tell you that she no longer wanted y'all to do the install?
So page 127 of the exhibit. So 126 is a breakdown of what we're requesting damages for, but page 127 shows an email from Cindy Who, the plaintiff, to my accounting team. That email was sent on Thursday, March 28th, 2024, saying, Veronica, I would like a breakdown of the flooring. I want to know the difference between what I've billed versus what Mr. Chen has received. I'll double check the original bid. You separate glue and labor. I trust you guys, but at the same time, I want to be treated fairly so I can continue remodeling my bathrooms with build. You know, one of our contentions in this is that we'll prove the extortion portion is that she regularly held things over our head with a promise of future work to not negotiate, but bully her way into certain things.
That's not extortion. That's a technique used currently by lots of leaders in their country.
There you go.
It's
Yeah,
considered
yes, ma'am.
apparently a wonderful way to do business. I want to get to, I'm reading through the emails, right? I'm getting there a whole lot faster. So
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
back and forth, go back. Does she tell you, is there an email in here where she says, you're not doing the install, I'm going to do it myself, or I've hired someone else? March 28th, and I see y'all going back and forth. Everyone's trying to save a buck or make some money, which I get. You're both out with an understandable interest in making a profit or saving money for each of you. That's valid. That's concernable. That's exactly what you both should be doing. What I want to see is, does she say,
page
no,
130.
you're not doing it?
Yeah,
Okay.
page 130, 9:08 p.m. She said Mr. Chen's guys are going to do it. And then I disputed the layout that she, or the context of her communication.
Share my screen, Mr. Villarreal.
Yeah.
Share my screen. I don't see her say no. She says, Mr. Chen can refund if you agree to change my order. He also mentioned that Veronica's asked me if he's got a crew to install the stairs. It seems to me that you may experience some difficulty locating a good trade partner as well. Mr. Chen seems very professional. Okay. Where does she say you're not doing it?
Can you go up to the top paragraph? His quote was $7 per square foot. It really saved me a lot of money, so I'm able to do the upstairs bathroom at the same time. To build 512, you potentially gain more business by saving me some money. Me and my friend Julie. Yeah.
I still don't see where she says we're not doing it. She says it really saved me a lot of money, so I may be able to do it at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think that it was in writing. I mean, we never got it in writing.
All right,
I guess if it's not specifically in there.
Because y'all didn't do it and someone else did.
No, ma'am. So what happened is that there are two breakouts, and if you'll scroll down to page 133.
This is why you trust your contractor to source the materials and do the job, because if something goes wrong, you're dealing with one person. this is why you don't try to save a buck by undercutting the person that's doing all of the work.
You'll see that before this series of emails happened, we had issued a purchase order to Mr. Chen. This purchase order shows our logo at the top. Again, there was a rebrand, so we're Build 512 doing business as Alabaster now. That purchase order was made after all of the legwork that went into this, takeoffs, visits, all of that. We sent Mr. Chen a purchase order on March 22nd. Before that email was sent, we released funds in the amount of 30% for a deposit, and in that it shows all of the materials that we were purchasing from Mr. Chen for the plaintiff's floor, and
Okay.
it clearly lists out the materials, 75 boxes at a cost. It lists out, now again, this document is to be used between our company and trades, so this
Okay.
is not the extended price to the plaintiff. This is our agreement with the vendor to provide flooring throughout.
Okay.
That flooring, along with our profit, was removed from our scope. And again, I guess it was removed without being done in writing. We were just told she could save money, and she's buying the flooring directly from Mr. Chen
And so
after
y'all-
essentially a contract had been signed.
let's go back. In the original contract, y'all were
Mhm.
going to sell her the flooring and make a profit on that.
Correct.
Okay. And in the end, she bought the flooring from Mr. Chen. Y'all's guys installed it. After y'all installed it correctly, y'all pointed out that the materials were kind of ugly with the epoxy, and then y'all took it all up and did it again. This is the same floor we're talking about?
Correct.
Okay. What's the $6,000 from flooring materials? Just because you lost out on getting to buy it because she went with him?
Yeah, she went direct to a vendor instead of through our company.
All right.
And
But
that's
it-
on the entire second floor.
Right. But at no point did you say, that's a breach of our contract, we're not working with you, you owe us the money, you can't do that. Right? Y'all went forward and let her use the save money and go through Mr. Chen, and then y'all installed it, and then y'all went through the whole thing where y'all said, hey, he gave us a bunch of boxes, we put them in, da 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 da, and then y'all redid it again. Y'all didn't tell her no.
Well, yeah, in that email exchange on page 130-ish, I basically say that's not accurate, that's not true, and we have an agreement.
No. You said that's not correct, but did you say that's a breach of the contract? We're not going to do it if you buy
No,
it from
ma'am.
someone else.
No,
So
ma'am.
essentially, y'all did modify the contract through your actions. She bought the wood from someone else, and y'all went ahead and installed it despite not making the money on the sale of the product.
Correct.
And did you ever tell her you're going to have to owe us the difference?
Yes, ma'am. When I sent her an email months ago, July, whatever it was.
Was that after the contract? At the time she said, I want to switch companies, did you say, cool, you can do that, but you owe us the money anyway?
No, ma'am. We were never factored into that. It was just taken away from us.
I know, but Mr. Villarreal, it's your business. You got a contract. You're negotiating with her. It's already not a negotiation because you already got a contract. She says to you, she came to you, she goes, listen, I'm not going to spend money with you anymore. I want to use someone else. And you did not say to her, that's a breach of our contract. We're not going to install the wood if you don't buy it from us. Instead, they'll say, well, that's not what the contract says. And she goes, too bad, I've already bought the wood. And then y'all just went, okay, the wood got delivered and y'all installed it.
That's correct. But the
Okay.
flooring wasn't the only thing that we did, Your Honor. So on our end, the contract is still open. She hasn't paid us. So we still have a balance. And that contract says that when final payment's due, then our agreement comes to a conclusion.
Yeah, I'm just making, like, in terms of what happened at that moment, when she came to your company and said, I'm not honoring my contract, y'all said, well, that's not okay, but then went forward anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
And you did not at that point say, you're going to owe us that money at the end when we're all done and we give you back your keys.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We did not say that.
Does the contract in its terms and conditions say, regardless of what happens, at the end, you're going to owe us for anything that's a part of this? Does
No,
it
ma'am.
include that? Okay. All right. So there's a question about that. So you're suing for the lost profit because you were supposed to send her the materials and she ended up buying them from someone else. And then it sounds like maybe she should have gone with y'all because you're saying the materials she got ended up causing a bigger problem. And she had to spend $3,000 to buy them again so y'all could lay it again. All right.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. What's the other part? So 6,200 is the lost profit on the flooring materials. What's the rest of the 19,500?
The installation for that same flooring, she required that we match Mr. Chen's price on the upstairs. So at $1.75 a square foot, which is item 2 in our damages page, we lost $2,206.30. Even though we had done all of the first floor under contract, she required that if we wanted her bathrooms and everything else, that we match Mr. Chen's installation price.
So despite
again, there was
Mr. Villarreal, just so I'm clear, despite the written contract between the parties saying she was going to buy it through y'all and pay you a premium price, She changed her mind and y'all went ahead and relented to that.
Correct.
And you lost profit then of $2,206. That's the difference. Mr. Chin undercut $2,200, and so you matched their price.
Correct.
Okay. Otherwise, you would have made that. So that's the loss of profit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else?
She still owes us $300 for the door hardware. She was notified that there was no refunds or exchanges. That when we place this order, she's got to pay for it.
That's those 2 handles that didn't fit.
Mm-hmm. And that's Exhibit J. The original invoice is attached.
All right. What else?
I was going to ask the court to give us the markup on the appliances since we originally weren't going to manage that process at all. It's not shown in the contract. And then we managed every aspect of her appliance delivery, installation, the specs for those appliances, and received no money or consideration for it. This number 3 on my damages list is 20% markup, which is consistent with our markup on everything else.
Okay. So
It is not a part of our contract.
So it wasn't a part of the contract.
No, ma'am.
Y'all did not have to do it. Y'all did it anyway.
Yes.
And now you want her to pay for it.
Yes.
Did you indicate to her at any point, if we do this, you're going to have to pay us?
In the emails that were at the conclusion of the project, she
Ah.
brought up.
At the time the appliances are getting delivered, because your guys could have gone to lunch and been like, hey, somebody's got to be here. You didn't pay us for that. And if you want us to do it, you owe us money. Did that happen?
Same week. Yes, ma'am. So the appliances were delivered at the very end. They were the last thing. And that's when we pointed out, well, hey, none of this stuff is right. Ferguson doesn't want to do it. She complained, well, you guys should have known. And we said appliances isn't in our purview.
Yeah.
We're installing them and you want that back. But we had to have all of these licensed trades out. And so I let her know, like, we're doing all of this work and not essentially getting paid for it. That doesn't seem fair.
How much what appliances did y'all have to install?
The garbage disposal, the vent hood blower, connection of the vent hood to the plenum. We had to install 2 new electrical boxes. So the specs that they receive outlets were not correct. We had to have an electrician out with materials to install 2 electrical boxes.
Okay. Now, in the original contract and scope, though, $1,900 was anticipated for a kitchen and appliance install.
Mhm.
Would that include this?
No, ma'am. It was like
What was that for?
$2,400. I think it was shared in the exhibits.
Mr. Villarreal, in
Yep.
the contract, y'all already put in $1,900 for kitchen install. She wants it back in her lawsuit.
Mhm.
But if you're telling me you covered it, why should I mean, you already got paid for that. That's the $1,900, right?
Yeah, so appliance installation and appliances are different. If you remember, we mark up materials and labor.
So what you want is the lost profit on her buying the appliances from someone
Correct.
else, not the actual overseeing of the delivery and the
That's
install.
correct.
Got it.
Correct.
That's why okay, that's where we're lost at. So you're again frustrated that she ended up finding a cheaper source of the underlying materials and you lost out on the profit on that.
Yeah, I mean, the general sense is, yep.
I get it.
Yes.
You were trying to make money because you're a business to make money, and she ended up undercutting your profit after the contract began. But you did not
Correct.
tell her that was a violation, and you instead moved forward with her changes.
Correct.
Okay. And the lost profit on the appliances was how much?
$6,800.26.
So the big bulk of your case is lost profit on her buying the flooring and the appliances through someone cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. What else?
All the back and forth, the overhead that was in addition to what we had factored into the original budget. She was even given 12 weeks of project management. If we took longer, we consumed that overage. She went over to the tune of 92 hours of labor.
And I believe every minute of that. I believe that she consumed all of that time.
And those were combined hours between our estimator, project coordinator, and project manager to chase down countless selections, options, prices, door handles outside of the scope of work.
What's that labor worth?
$3,792. It's included as Exhibit K.
All right. Anything else?
Cost of court, the paperwork, the time.
That's
The
all.
counterclaim.
And you always get that. I appreciate that, Mr. Dyer. You get that. All right. Ms. Hu, let's talk. So is it correct that you ended up going with did you hire is it correct that in the contract, you originally anticipated buying your flooring through the defendant's company, 512?
Yes.
And then after the contract was signed, you got cheaper wood through Mr. Chen?
After the contract was signed, I found out they also sourced it from Mr. Chen.
Miss Hugh, I get it. They
Yeah.
were going to make money by doing the work for you, and you decided to go around them and get it cheaper, correct?
Yes, that's
So you
correct.
took away their opportunity to make a profit that they had built into the contract that you agreed to.
No, I did not know I took the
That
profit.
is exactly, well, Ms. Hugh, I understand you didn't realize it, but that's exactly what you did. When you get a cheaper price, the seller is going to make less money. And here you didn't buy anything from Mr. Villarreal's company. You found that you could go directly to the vendor, and they did not prohibit you from doing that. They went ahead and did the remodel for you. So you got cheaper wood and you bought cheaper appliances by not going through the defendant's company. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
Did you buy the appliances from the defendant?
It was not part of the work slope. The kitchen appliance, if you look at the contract, that is not part of the workload
Okay.
in the beginning. When I design with Aaron,
That's a good answer. Mr. Villarreal, are the kitchen appliance purchases part of the original scope of the contract?
No, ma'am, we were told that we would not oversee any aspect of kitchen appliances originally, which is why it says in the contract, appliances are to be provided by the client.
Right, but you just told me you're counterclaiming because you didn't get to sell her the appliances.
We're counterclaiming that we didn't get profit on the appliances, but
Right.
she mismanaged that installation and then put that on us. So at the very tail end of the project, our final payment was being upheld because we had to work backwards for the appliances.
Okay. You bought wood directly from Mr. Chen. Miss Hu, is it correct that you renegotiated with the defendant for a cheaper installation price?
for the hardwood floor.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, Travis,
Yes or no? Did you go to them and say, I can have it installed cheaper, will you match that price? Did they end up giving you a cheaper installation price than what was originally in the contract?
no,
No.
No.
So he says that y'all did not, that he gave you a cheaper price. That's not true?
can I explain, or based on my understanding is no?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, when Travis told me they can get 6.8 square footage per square footage from Mr. Chen, who I end up buying, and then I told them, how about I pay $7? So I thought I still give them margin on the flooring. I did not know 6.8 is their bottom number. So their claim lost the profit to me at that point. I did not know. I thought I still give them a little profit on ordering the flooring with Mr. Chen.
Okay, but you did get it cheaper through Mr. Chen. Okay.
No, I did not. It's $7 versus 6.8. They quote me 6.8, and
You
I
paid
got
more
7.
to Mr. Chen?
Yeah, at that time I was thinking to source it directly from Mr. Chen and consign this to them, and then they end up buying from Mr. Chen directly. They don't want me to consign.
Mr. Villarreal, at the end of the contract, how much do you say Ms. Hu did not pay?
$300 is still outstanding.
That's for that door hardware?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Hu, is that correct?
Can I say yes and no?
I mean, what is it?
They give me $300 withholding to pay until the installation complete. The reason I did not pay them is because it's not complete. Yes, there's $300.
All right, listen, y'all are going around and around in a really strange way over what seems like an elaborate remodel with a lot of things that were not done to the contract. I will highlight for both parties here. Now, Mr. Villarreal, I'm going to give you credit. You actually have a more detailed set of contracts that I typically see from general contractors. But I will say again, as I say every time I hear these cases, follow what you put in writing. Both parties veered immediately from the thing that you spent months negotiating and putting in writing. And almost immediately, you both started doing different things from it. And then 9 months after the fact, you've got a dispute. And a year after that, you're in court going, here's what happened. And you have no actual written documentation. He said, she said, I think they told me, I think I got a call. I don't have a photo. I don't have proof. What you do have proof of is the original contract and any invoices or estimates, right? So all of this is something that y'all should be better. If you do this again, keep that in mind. Everything should be marked in writing, because a lot of both of your lawsuits involve a lot of he said, she said, and me figuring out what you think you both thought. I hear a lot of mutual mistake. Through no fault of either side, both of you seem to have misunderstood what was taking place. And you are both responsible as an adult, as a homeowner, as a business owner, for understanding the scope and responsibility of the contracts that you entered into. Ms. Hu, you as a homeowner, the defendant did not show up at your house to do work except for you intentionally calling, contacting, and hiring them, right? So you have a duty to understand what you have given them permission to do, how long they have that permission, and when it's going to be done, and what it's going to cost you. If after you struck that agreement, you changed it and did not follow the terms of the contract, it makes it hard for me to follow along. To the same way, Mr. Villarreal, you have a contract and you are now counterclaiming because of all the lost profit that you allowed to happen by not sticking to the agreement you struck with the plaintiff. At both of those changes that you said you're now losing profit on, you had the right under your contract to say, no, that's a breach, we're not doing it. And you did not do that. Instead, by your actions, you ratified that change. You'll all move forward with it. And then everyone just left it up to the end. It may be that you thought, I'm going to get more work out of this person. She's going to refer me. This may be good business. And it seems like she hinted at that. This might be better for you. And I get that that's how these things work, right? You want good referrals. You don't want a bad Yelp review. But at the same time, unreasonable request by a plaintiff who does not understand the scope of the contract to put you in a bad situation as a business is not valid. So I see that both parties behaved correctly and both parties misunderstood and made a mistake. Ms. Hu, on your claim, you were seeking things specifically, and we went through these. So let's go through them one at a time. You wanted the flooring materials because the flooring was redone. You wanted the installation for the appliances because you didn't actually have them do it. You wanted a thrown out couch, the value of that couch. And then you wanted back the wrong door sliding handles. The flooring you wanted $3,000. The appliances was $1,900. The couch, you said you'd paid $1,000 when it was new in 2021. The couch was thrown away in 2024. And then on the sliding door handles, you asked for $1,100. Mr. Villarreal, in your counterclaim, several of the same things are addressed. You're seeking lost profit from selling the flooring materials to Mrs. Hu because she ended up using a direct contact. That's $6,200. You're asking for $2,200 because you lost profit on doing the cheaper floor installation. You wanted $300 for the cost of the door handles. You bought the doors, 2 of them were installed, 2 you still stuck and you can't get a refund on it. You wanted $6,800 for the loss of profit selling the appliances and $3,700 for the extra labor. Mr. Villarreal, you said the extra labor was because of these many back and forths and the changes and these redos and the flooring and extra stuff. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For the flooring, I'm not awarding anything to either party. I understand that you had to pay extra for the flooring, but it sounds like you should have paid more to begin with. And Mr. Villarreal kind of let you get away with getting cheaper contract and getting him completely out of the profit that he had built into the contract for him to make as a business, right? Well, also, them going ahead and redoing it when they had absolutely no obligation to do so, I find to be pretty reasonable as a business owner. So I'm going to say that both of you are even when it comes to the flooring. Okay, so you're not getting anything. So there's no reward for the $6,200 in lost profit, nor is there anything back for the $3,000 that you had to buy the materials. I think you both take a lesson on the flooring for that one. All right. For the appliances, it does sound like there was a requirement that the appliances were going to be installed. At least there's a line item that I can clearly see in the contract for that to the defendant. Ms. Hu, you didn't do it that way, but it sounds like in the end, Mr. Villarreal's company did have to do some of that work because it wasn't ready, and Ferguson said they wouldn't do it. So I'm not going to award Ms. Hu the $1,900 for that. Instead, that just remains with the defendant, and you've gotten paid for the work that you had to do on the appliances. With the couch, I find that to be okay. I didn't hear anything about that. I would say $500 for a used couch that got lost. And then for the sliding door hardware, I wouldn't award you 1,100. Instead, it sounds like you owe them money. And it's not clear to me that they made a mistake in the ordering, because it sounds like you gave them specific doors that may have been the wrong ones. Again, I teamed that up to a mutual mistake. Neither party was acting intently or with bad or trying to harm. Y'all both made a mistake. You thought you had the right doors. They ordered. It turned out both sides were wrong. So that would be a wash on that one. It would come back, though, that Mr. Villarreal, your company paid for the hardware. You're stuck with 2 door handles that you can't use. I'm going to let you keep them because she's going to pay for that. All right. With regard to your extra laborers and the loss for the appliances, I already found that the $1,900 covered your installation for that. Mr. Villarreal, do you have anything to indicate the 92 hours of extra labor that was put in? Do you have any records for that?
There's no clocking in and clocking out. We went back and looked through the series of emails.
All right.
There were also 12 or 13 estimates that were sent to Miss Cindy, who was a part of this process for, I mean, I could share those, probably 120 pages worth of estimates and bids that we got for her.
Mr. Villarreal, in the original contract that lays out the scope for the parties and the original contractor's agreement, does the contract have any provisions about what happens when parties make changes like this?
Just the change order clause that you read earlier, that it has to be agreed to in writing.
Okay. Is there anything specifically, though, that highlights the amount of hours to be performed or that there's a cap on it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And I'm afraid I would not award anything to the defendant on the counterclaim, which means it's a judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500 plus your cost of court. And onto the counter defendant's claim, it would be a take nothing for the counter plaintiff. Okay. But that means that as Ms. Hugh, you've won your case for $500 and your cost of court is about $130. Both parties have the right to appeal the decision. Ms. Hugh, if you believe I have reached a judgment in error, you should have been awarded more money. You have 21 days to appeal the decision. Mr. Villarreal, you can also appeal. If you believed I reached my judgment either against you as the defendant or as a take nothing in your counterclaim, you can appeal both or either. Ms. Hugh, you can appeal both or either. Unlikely you would appeal the counter plaintiff taking nothing, but just be aware there are 2 cases. Either of you can appeal on either of those. So if either of you appeal, the whole case would then be sent to a different court. In that court, there's a little bit different process. In fact, full discovery is allowed there. So if you're interested, that may be something you would want to look into. If neither,
So an appeal would go to county court?
That's correct. It goes to county. It would be
Wonderful.
randomly assigned to either court 1 or court 2. Mr. Villarreal, I'll just information for both parties. If Build 512 is an LLC,
Mhm.
state law will require you to hire an
No,
attorney
pro
of
se.
record.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've already retained one for an appeal.
You already got it. All right, all right. Well, then
Yep.
I think both parties have, I want to say again, I don't hear that either party acted in bad faith. I think both parties behaved well. I'm glad y'all have so many contracts. Even with that, you can see there are some deficiencies in it. I heard mutual mistake multiple times in this case, okay? If neither party does anything, that $500 judgment becomes final after 21 days, and it's 21 calendar days.
Do we get a receipt for the couch to show the value? I mean, is it just assumed that we're taking this 5-year-old couch at face value?
I found that to be credible and awarded her $500. That's correct.
Okay.
All right. All right. Good luck to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All
Thank you.
parties are excused.
Not gonna lie, I don't agree with the judge on that one. I think that Tony's business was out a lot of money because of the mismanagement and micromanagement of the plaintiff, the other party. She took advantage of him every minute that she could. And I feel really bad for him and his business. Yeah, he got walked all over. Yeah, I bet the next contract will have provisions on what happens when people change their mind and things like that. He needs to appeal it. He needs to. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. He was trying to do the right thing as a business owner. He was trying. But yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. That's why it's so important to keep all those receipts and everything in writing, because the judges can only go, as we've heard so many times, the four corners of the document. Yeah, yeah. I let that one just slide by. Yeah. That's probably the reality of it. Yep. All right, guys. That was so much fun. Oh my goodness. That was a good one. Thanks again to Saul Goodman. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, that would be a good provision for him to put into his contracts. It would assist him in never letting this happen again. You have the best night ever. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Yes. Oh my gosh. It's not over for me. I am going to try to go to bed. I think I deserve some sleep. I don't know. I don't know if I want to be able to. I know I'm supposed to use distilled water in my BiPAP machine, but what do you think would happen if I filled it with coffee? Well, I know from past experience you have to refresh it. It doesn't they're there. You don't see them until you refresh the page. So don't worry about it. I appreciate the concern. But you know what? People are going to do what they're going to do. Everybody knows the like button's there. I'd really appreciate it if they'd hit it. Ooh, yeah. I'd get like that portal that opens up on Big Bang Theory where, Sheldon reaches in and grabs the ball. And yeah, that just might happen. I show 34 viewers. That might have to be a thing. Okay, guys, thank you so much. And hopefully tomorrow we can have just as much fun. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.